The worst case scenario is upon us. We're facing the potential loss of $1,000 of bets. We will go into our platforms and see what happened during the week, where we could have taken profits, and why we're almost about to lose it all. Follow me to the platforms and we'll see how each of these bets has done throughout the week. First, we're gonna start with our Polymarket, where we chose to spread our money among 5 bets. 2 finishing on June and 3 for the longer term. So for these first 2 that are gonna be finishing in June, we have hit bets. It's what price will Bitcoin hit in the month of June. We chose 2 strikes that at the moment made sense for our thesis. Our thesis is 60K is the bottom, meaning we won't be going to 50K, 40K or lower. For my general purpose bets, 57,500 was the closest strike I could get, and we chose to do our most aggressive position right here. This bet has done bad during the week. Earlier today we hit $58,000 and we were only $500 away of losing all here. By grace of the markets, we have recovered a tiny bit and this position wasn't lost. We'll have to see how that develops during the week still. We have still 1 more week for this bet to be either a win or a big L. On the $55,000 strike is a safer side we chose. This one hasn't done as bad. It was still safe earlier today. It's at a slight loss because we chose a higher entry point than today's, but I still feel fairly safe with it. For these 2 bets, although we were very close to losing one of them, I feel that today that the Bitcoin price was having a rough time, as we can see on this chart. If I open this trading chart from our platform, Hyperliquid, where we are holding a couple leverage bets, we can see today's price went all the way down to here, $58,000. But when that happened, we had this big volume week of buying pressure that kept us grinding slightly up, and it has us right now at almost back at 60,000. This also was pretty scary, to be honest. At the moment, since it's passing, makes me feel safer about our thesis that 60K really is a bottom. Because if you think about it, 60K, it's like Black Friday price for Bitcoin. I really wish I could just throw all of my money into it, and I'm sort of doing so, because these prices won't be seen for much time longer. And when time passes by and we look back onto these times and these ridiculous sell prices for Bitcoin, we'll see why I'm calling this the bottom. Then we have these 2 other bets that are for the longer term. They are in 2026. So these have all the way till December to be realized. And they're slightly in a loss because the price has gone against us this week. One 20% down and the other 30% down. That is pretty horrible. But I still feel safe that during the next 6 months, this will be a complete win, and we'll be winning these bets because 75 and 80K, for me, it's in the pocket. So if we look back to our bets, now we have seen through 4 of 5 of them. The only that is missing is the Bitcoin all-time high buy, which hasn't changed much from our entry price. The order book has it at 6, we have it at 7. Let's call it neutral. Like the price hasn't changed much regarding the opinion if we'll be back to all-time highs for the rest of the year. So I'll be saying that this as in today's and last week's price action, if we get a bit of buying pressure that gets us back to like 61, 62K, I'll feel fairly good, fairly safe about where we're heading. If we stay for the weekend around this 59,000 range, I'll say we're pretty much dead, and I think we'll be losing a couple of our bets. Now let's move on to see the perpetual long futures trades. These are very interesting ones because they tell two very different stories about our choices of risk. We're holding these two leverage bets. Let's look at them closely because during the week on this Bitcoin long, we had the opportunity, although we didn't take it, to actually realize some good profits. We can see, let me just adjust this, that we started this position on 63,000 and it developed during the week a slow grind, but we had this upper week that went all the way to 65,000. If we had chose to manage our positions when I saw that price, and I would have gone around the portfolio and closed everything, we would have made around 200 to 250 bucks of profit. That would have been about a 20% gain for the week and a completely different position of where we are right now. For the sake of storytelling, we kept the position open during this price range, and that has shown to be a very bad decision. Right after that, it's been hell. Just selling pressure over selling pressure after more selling pressure and more selling pressure. And we have wicked down from 65,000 all the way to 58. As I talked before, this 58 and big volume makes me feel a little bit safe about our thesis that this is really building as a bottom base. When the price comes to this range, all the buyers start piling in. They're like, give me all your Bitcoins, I will be taking them all. I think the market recognizes this as a sell price. I like to see it on 60,000 right now. I hope tomorrow Friday it recovers at least to 61, and during the weekend maybe we can get back to the 62. If we go through that, I feel fairly safe about how these bets will be developing for the rest of the next week. The Bitcoin long leverage bet is still fairly safe. Its liquidation price, it's all the way down to $51,000. I don't think we'll be going there. And our MicroStrategy tells a different story. This one is a tragic one. I have some reasons for being a very strong believer on the future growth of this company, but this last week has been just terrible for them. If Bitcoin holds its 58,000 bottom, I think MicroStrategy will be holding this $85 bottom, and maybe we'll be able to survive this one because we are just $7 away of losing it. That is 10%, a 10% change. As you can see, only today this company lost 11% of its value. So either tomorrow we'll have a good Bitcoin day and MicroStrategy will recover a bit and we'll keep on, or if some sort of bad news develop, this specific bet was a bad one. So if we look now at our portfolio, what decision can be taken? The decision could be taken to just cut off everything and take the losses. That means on our Hyperliquid position, we would be $266 down, so 50% down. And on our Polymarket position, we'd be $131 down, so like 25% down. That means total we would be $400 down. So 400 out of a bit over 1,000, that's 40% loss for a week. That would be a horrible start to this series of episodes. Although I think it adds a bit of more drama and juiciness and spiciness to our story, I still feel fairly certain about our construction of a bottom. I feel certain about our thesis. I feel these bets can still be win, and I won't be taking losses at this moment. I will be sticking to my guns and I will be holding these bets for one more week. Stay tuned for next week's episode and see how our portfolio develops. Thanks for your time.